Tom, I'm back at White House Machine Tools today, and we're looking at the Biglia. Really, the Biglia is back.
Yes, pleasure to have you back, Paul. Exciting times for us. 20 years we've been dealing with Biglia, and recently we did have a spell where they had a different sales strategy, and unfortunately we weren't selling the machine for them. But they've decided that it's best back with us, so we're off the ground with a flying start with a few sales in the bag.
Well, that's good news, and this machine we're going to look at today is the B465. You could class it as a production machine, but it's you tell me.
Yeah, this is the latest generation of Quattro machine. In particular, this has a 3-turret, 3 Y-axis with double spindles. So it's a bar machine, effectively producing finished parts complete.
I noticed a statement by looking at the brochure that said this machine was about higher productivity, and it actually said, potentially 50% improvements in cycle times. How does the machine go about doing that?
Well, I think having the 3 turrets, you can have 3 tools cutting simultaneously. So you're doing more operations at the same time. So compared with either a single turret or even twin turret machines, you're going to be producing parts much quicker.
On that point, let's have a look at a couple of parts. I know you've got 2 up there.
Yeah, these are typical component parts that we're producing from bar. It's multifunction, normally done on lathes and machining centres. This particular component part has a thread which is cut by circular interpolation using the Y-axis. So you've got flats, milled flats, and some very accurate turning.
So basically, this as an example, everything on there can be done in one hit.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Bar goes in one end and the finished parts comes out on a conveyor on the other. Okay,
let's have a look at the second part that you've got there.
Again, a typical connector part for the aerospace, and you can see, we have a square flange there with holes and some notches. So again, done complete.
I'm interested also, Tom, in the fact that you've got 3 turrets here. Have you got a Y-axis on every turret?
Yeah, the machine that we have here has got 3 Y-axis. It is possible to have Y-axis either on 1 or 2, or as all 3 turrets.
And I suppose that's why it's got Y3 in the model.
Exactly, yeah. You've got it right.
What about the tool stations? How many tools can the machine hold? And what's the benefit of having more tools?
Well, each turret has 12 stations, so we can carry up to 36 power heads. Some of the turning tool holders and boring bar holders can be double holders because of the Y-axis. And in some of the setups, we've had more than 50 tools in operation.
That's impressive. And what about the spindle bore diameters, so the bar diameter on this machine? Because I noted by looking at the brochure, if you have a bigger or smaller bar diameter, the footprint of the machine doesn't change.
No, the design, it's a modular design machine, so we have a single frame that suits all different models, twin turret and 3 turret. We can have 2 different main spindles. The smaller one being 51mm bar capacity has an RPM of 5,000, and then we have a 70mm bar capacity which is 4,000 RPM.
And the space inside this machine, it's quite evident that a lot of attention to detail has been laid upon making it, or it looks like you've got quite a big capacity, turning diameter and turning length.
Yeah, the design, it's a very robust machine. It's got a heavy duty casting, 30-degree slant bed, and it's been designed for hard turning applications as well as more conventional commercial type work.
Well, that would lead me on to the precision and what you can achieve with the machine. We've spoken about the complexity of the parts and how much more productive you can be, but how does it go about achieving the tolerances that manufacturers might be chasing?
Yeah, well, Biglia have been manufacturing this style of machine for 20 years. This is their 3rd generation. They now manufacture all their own component parts to a very high precision on the very latest machines. So, we are looking at, machining component parts to a few microns.
And you would prove components before the machine goes out, because I'm assuming a lot of the sales of these machines would be turnkeys. Would that be correct?
Yes, many instances. This particular machine is going to a company in the south of England. we'll be programming a number of component parts as a turnkey. Typically, we only get the very demanding parts, and people want it proved.
And a lot of our viewing audience are subcontractors. Is this a subcontractor's machine?
Oh yes, it's going to a subcontractor. You know, he's not making large batches, but the reason he wants the 3 turrets is to be able to put as many of his tools, which he will keep in place in those turrets, and that just helps him minimise setups.
So basically he doesn't have to be spending his time changing tools.
No.
The whole time the machine is cutting material, which is key.
Exactly.
Brilliant, thanks Tom.
Okay, thank you, Paul.